perspective on a day-to-day basis in our life. So I'm now going to take you through the 7 filters with which you are unconsciously creating your life on an ongoing basis, which are based on these. But this is the theory. We'll look into the practical aspect of what drives your action. So the first filter, and which is probably at several levels the easiest filter that we are constantly applying, is the filter where what I am is what I am doing. In short, it is the external expression of the law of ascents. So every movement across the world tells you that only do those things that you feel like doing. Because everything that you do which you do not feel like doing is only starting a karmic cycle that will come back to you. You know, it's a very interesting observation with karma. So when we talk of karma, our whatever we have learned in philosophy or in our religion tells us that as you sow, so shall you reap. What you put out is what you get. This is the typical understanding of karma. Let's take a little time out and observe nature, because nature is very wise. जितनी wisdom आपको nature में दिखेगी कहीं नहीं दिखेगी. So in nature you observe that air is moving from a high pressure area to a low pressure area. It never ever goes back in return. So you will never have the high pressure area saying like a pathan, ये साले कल मैंने तुमको प्रेशर दिया हवा का वो वापस रिटर्न कर ब्याज के साथ. Doesn't happen. Water flows from a higher level to a lower level, never in return. Electricity flows from a positive terminal to a negative terminal, again never in return. Magnetism flows from North Pole to South Pole, never in return. Which means nature does not operate on the principle of returning back. What do you see in nature? In nature, there is only a unidirectional flow from abundance to lack. Okay? Which means karma is a human created concept. Now, if you have to break this cycle, you have to follow nature. Which means you have to flow from what is abundant in you to what is lacking outside and give it. And as long as you are doing that, you are free from karma, because that is your zone of abundance. So when Bill Gates does charity, it is not karma. Even if he gives $1 million away, he is only flowing in the flow of his natural abundance. He does not have to calculate कि ये $1 million जो मैंने charity को दिया वो कब वापस आएगा और इससे किसको फायदा होगा. Does he think? No. Which is why his charity is free from karma. So when we talk of action, when Krishna says karmanye vadhikaraste, act without taking ownership of the consequence. That means your actions have to be such that you have no connect with the consequence of that. You can only do that when you act out of your abundance. Because when you, suppose now you have 1 lakh of rupees and you give 50,000 to somebody, how much of your mind will remain in that 50,000? कब वापस आएगा? तू कल दे देगा ना? परसों पक्का, हाँ, उससे एक दिन ज्यादा लेट मत करना. परसों से रात को SMS भी शुरू हो जाएगा, यार पैसे आ गए तेरे वापस. This is karma. Because you are releasing an energy and you want the consequence to come back. Then you are tied to the cycle. So when we go to the first law, What I am in my abundance is what I do naturally. So for example, what I am in my abundance, I have lots of time. I can devote time to helping other people. That there is no karma. But if I have very limited time, and from that time I take out time to do something for somebody else, that energy has to come back to me. Because that time has a value in my head. Clear? So the first filter is, what I am is what I naturally do.
But you can put it differently. I put a value to get back. I have value just to distribute, just to share and distribute, not expecting in return.
No, correct. But you can only do that when you have an abundance of it. If you have a lack of it, you cannot behave abundantly from something that you lack. Okay? So which is why people say pyar baato. Why? Because love is something you have in abundance. But if when you were born and your parents never loved you, you will be incapable of loving anybody else. Because you are constantly in that lack story कि मुझे प्यार नहीं मिला तो मैं दूसरों को प्यार कहाँ से दूँगा? You know, the key to all the violence in this world, United Nations spends trillions of dollars on peacekeeping. कुछ नहीं होता उसे. Because the source of all external violence is abundance of internal violence. अब बचपन में आपको आपकी फटी, तब आप दूसरों की फाड़ रहे बड़े होके. अगर आपकी बचपन में नहीं फटी होती तो आप किसी की नहीं फाड़ेंगे आगे चल के. This is the most brutal application of the law of attraction. Okay. So many of us are aware of the law of attraction. खास करके वो जब से वो सीक्रेट करके बुक आई है, उसकी जो पिक्चर बनी है, सारे लोग मरे पड़े हैं. रोंडा ब्राइन मिलियनेयर हो गई, हमको कड़का छोड़ गई. वो खरीद के साले पागल हो गए, पैसा नहीं आया, बुक्स बहुत सारे आ गए. Okay. But anyways, essentially, what the book tells you, and it's a great book.
What is the book you talk about?
The Secret, na?
The Secret.
It's a very famous book. The Secret करके उस पे पिक्चर भी बनी है. Oh, कितने million copies have got sold. That the way to get something is to feel good about it. That's the whole story. But the law of attraction works brutally even in the opposite format. Which means, whatever it is that you judge with any emotion is what you are attracting for yourself to experience. Because you are judging the divine. Now, let's say you are a married woman, very content in your house. You see another lady who is in a marriage and she is having an extramarital affair. And the moment you say, how can she even think of having this affair? The universe is saying, Acha, you want to know how? Look. Because whenever you judge any other individual, you have no clue about why that person is doing what he or she is doing. But you are passing a judgment on it. Now the moment you pass in judgment without being aware of the reasons behind the action, you are attracting that same situation for you to experience. Which means you discern but do not judge. Let me explain what the difference is. Suppose you see somebody robbing a bank. Okay? You have no clue why he is robbing the bank. You have no clue. You have no clue, maybe 100 people of his village are being held hostages by dacoits who have told him that unless you rob this bank and bring 2 crores, we are going to kill 100 people. You have no clue. Okay? That man is risking his one life so that 100 lives can be saved. But you are judging it. The moment you judge it, you will attract the same situation in your life. Because the universe will see when 100 of your relatives are kept hostage, what will you do to bring that money? Now what does this mean? You see somebody robbing a bank, it doesn't agree with you. Okay? I choose not to rob the bank. That's fine. That is discerning. But don't judge the other person's action. Because each one of us is living a life based on our value systems, which is fine. Because every person has a unique set of value systems. The problem happens when you judge emotionally somebody else's value system without having a clue about why that person has that value system.
What happens in a public situation, like you are living in a city and you see a professor who has passed on a cartoon and he is put behind bars and beaten. Now, as a citizen, you make a judgment. Oh, this is awful.
Correct. Which means, when you make a judgment as a citizen, you create an energy contract that will put you in that situation sooner or later. Absolutely. Because from a divine perspective, the divine that creates the Pandavas also creates the Kauravas. The same system creates light and dark both. Because light and dark are only props for energy to be able to flow between 2 points. Krishna's favorite character is Shakuni. Because if you remove Shakuni from the drama, then his incarnation is important. What gives potency to Krishna's incarnation is Shakuni. You remove him from the drama and Krishna's incarnation is the most useless incarnation on earth. So the darkness exists so that white can be understood. So don't judge the dark. You may choose not to absorb it, but don't judge it.
But if I see somebody robbing a man in the same bank, do I say, I don't know what he's doing it, I will not, or do I sabotage his efforts?
That is your dharma, swadharma. The question is, there is no judgment. Let's say I am an employee of the bank. Okay? So what is my dharma?
It's to stop it.
Correct. So my dharma is to safeguard the interest of the bank. Somebody is coming to rob it, I don't know why he is doing it. But my dharma says I have to protect my bank. But I don't judge what he is doing. I will act to protect my bank because that is my dharma. Now whether I die in it or he dies in it, I don't judge his action. So there is no emotional judgment on his action. I am acting out of my dharma. That I will do. Is that clear? So you act out of your value system. The only thing I am saying is don't judge the other person's value system. Because we have no clue of why it exists. And when you judge it in ignorance, you attract it to experience.
And what if you are judging it on knowing somebody in
Then for sure you will get it. Then you will get it with awareness. That means you will become an aware Buddha who knows why he is going through pain in life. That is what will happen. Okay.
Sir, one question.
Haji? Yeah.
You spoke about the 7 laws.
Yes.
But is there a law of attraction?
The law of attraction is inherent in the law of karma. So when I say as you act, so shall you reap, this is the law of attraction. Karma, action and reaction are based on attraction.
But attraction is there in all the laws.
But in an absolutely basal story, at the highest law, in the law of one, it is the